For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather round them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. But you keep your hand in all situations, endure hardship, do the work of an evangelist, discharge all the duties of your ministry. Friends, this morning I have titled my short devotion, Fulfilling of Life Purpose, Fulfilling of Life Purpose. Here is Paul speaking to Timothy. I do not need to go into details of the background because of time, but very quickly I'll be speaking about what we need to do to fulfill our destiny, even as we begin our studies in St. Paul's. I want to believe that to some, this is a continuation of journey that they have set upon themselves to undertake education. But allow me to use the teachings of Paul to remind us a few things about fulfilling of life purpose. One thing that is of importance is that for one to fulfill the purpose in life in which God created each one of us for, we need to understand why we are living. We need to understand why we are living. You can be a Muslim, you can be of any other religion, but it is important to understand why you are living and why God created you to. This is because understanding helps one define their purpose. And then understand, when also you understand why, you will have direction, because this direction will keep you to your lane until you achieve your destination. One of the things that is key in fulfilling one's destiny, purpose, is goal setting. And for the new students, I would encourage you, even as you begin this journey, because I know there are some who begin and then it takes longer than expected or longer than it is supposed to be. As you begin this journey, begin with the end in mind. And the end for your case is the graduation. And that is why for Christians, we encourage ourselves to live this world with heaven in mind. Yes, we are living here, but as we live the world, as we serve God's purpose in the world, it is important for us to understand that there is heaven waiting for us. And for this case, I would want to ask us to set the goal and work with the graduation in mind. That way, we will be able to remain focused because of the goals we have set. Self-discipline, I don't need to talk so much about self-discipline, but we know as students, this is of paramount importance, because discipline preserves our destiny and molds it into the form that God made it from the beginning. Friends, as we continue, as we begin this journey, it is my prayer that we will understand how important it is for us to remain disciplined, focused, so that we can be preserved to our destiny, being molded by God, being molded by our Creator to become that which He wants us to be. And then you need to engage yourself in prayer. Prayer shapes destinies. Prayer preserves people. Prayer secures lives. Prayer opens doors that are locked. Prayer brings your life to what God wants it to be, because you keep on communing with God every day of your life. Then remain persistent, remain focused, have faith in God, work hard. And I want to conclude by saying that what Paul charged Timothy to do is to prepare. in and out of season. Remain prepared, friends, not only for your academic, but even for your work with God. At St. Paul's University, spiritual nourishment is one of the pillars that we really emphasize on. Encourage yourself to remain connected with God every time of your life. And I believe that you will achieve your goals. You will live a fulfilled life, and the Lord will bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord continue showering his love and grace upon you. And may the Lord bless your journey in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you so very much. Back to you, Merab.
Thank you very much, Reverend Diane, for the spiritual nourishment as well as the words of wisdom. My prayer is, as we begin this journey at St. Paul's, the Lord may help us. The Lord may walk with us as we seek to fulfill our purpose in life. Thank you, Reverend Diane, once more. So straight away, I will welcome the Director, Distance and E-Learning, Madam Grace Kinyanjui, to talk to us, give us the official welcome on behalf of the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs. So welcome, Madam Grace.
Thank you very much, Merab, and good morning to all of you. It's really good to have you here with us this morning. We are really excited to be your hosts and to also welcome you to St. Paul's University. As Merab has rightly said, I am Grace Kinyanjui. I am the Director for Distance and E-Learning Programs, and today we are happy to onboard you to St. Paul's University just so that you have an understanding of what St. Paul's University is all about and this mode of study that you have selected to study in. Before I continue, I'm obliged to request one person to say something, and that is Michael Mungai, our Public Relations and Marketing Officer. Mike, please take a chance to just say hi to everybody before I continue.
Thank you so much, Grace. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, very well.
Okay, thank you so much, Grace, our Director, Distance and E-Learning, and also thank you, Mela, and all the staff who have joined together with our students. I would want this morning to most welcome you to St. Paul's University. We usually say this is your university of choice, and also congratulate you for actually securing this opportunity to come and study and further your studies with us. And I would want to thank you for choosing St. Paul's University. I'm sure by the time you decided to come and study with us, there are so many reasons that you considered, and you decided that you're going to take your studies with St. Paul's University. What I would want to promise you is that as a university, we ensure that we keep our promise. I know we have promised you so many things when we have engaged you in your recruitment and admission process. And I want to promise that we will do our part, we will play our part, but we would also want to request that you also play your part so that you can be able to achieve your academic goals. So I would want to thank you for trusting us with your academic journey. And we pray and hope that we will be able to offer and help you achieve whatever you came for at St. Paul's University. So thank you so much. I know that we are expecting a bigger number than this, and we believe as we continue, the rest will be able to join. But as it has been communicated, I know a recording will be saved or it will be done so that in case you miss some parts here and there, it should be able to be shared with you and access it later. So I would want to stop there and wish you all the best, even as you begin your studies with us. Over to you, Grace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael, for that warm welcome. And thank you to all my colleagues who are also present here to support this process. And again, we warmly welcome you, our students, to today's session, and hope that by the end of the day or by the end of these sessions, you'll have gained adequate knowledge to sail you through your academics with us. So I'm going to provide a brief introduction to St. Paul's University, and I'll be doing this presentation on behalf of Professor Peter Ngure, who is our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs. So our commitment to you as St. Paul's University is basically to partner with you in developing or advancing your career and to provide quality education. So as you start off your journey, we wish to make this our vow with you so that each and every day when we wake up to serve you, this is what we are looking at achieving. So therefore, be rest assured that you have selected to be with the very best, and we are committed to see to it that by the end of your studies, you are able to move to the next career level, and that in everything we do, that we will be able to provide quality education. And in this case, it is actually quality online education, seeing that you have signed up as a distance learning student where education is facilitated online. And that is also the case for the rest of the university because all the students now are on virtual teaching and learning because of the circumstances that are facing us in the present times. So what is it about St. Paul's University? St. Paul's University is a chartered institution, so that means that we have the authority to give degrees, and this also means that you have to earn them as our student. Therefore, you're required to put in the necessary effort and dedicate the necessary time for you to manage to sail through your studies successfully. St. Paul's University is also a private university, meaning that it is not a state-owned university, but it is owned by 4 churches and 1 council. We will later be explaining who these partners are, and we do adhere to the traditions of these 4 churches in regards to the values that the university espouses. St. Paul's University is also a Christian university, so we are guided by the principles of the Christian faith. But being Christian also means that we are ecumenical. We are open to other Christian churches and denominations, traditions, as long as they are based on the biblical teachings. Therefore, we open our doors to everybody, but we stand firmly and are guided by the Christian faith. And we do have various activities that we engage in as a way of practicing our Christian faith, which we also invite our students to partake. So for example, for this orientation session, we have begun with devotion, and that is part of what characterizes our practice. And every day we do have online services, which you are also encouraged to attend. And we also have Bible study sessions, which are also facilitated online, which we are also highly encouraged to participate in. A brief history of St. Paul's University. It is one of the oldest universities in the region and started way back in 1874, where it was founded in Freetown, Mombasa by the Church Missionary Society, then called the Anglican Mission Agency. And then in 1930, St. Paul's Divinity School was moved to Limuru in Kiambu County, where we are presently located. In 1955, the Divinity School became St. Paul's United Theological College, bringing together Anglicans, Presbyterians, and Methodist churches to train men for ordained ministry. And then in 1973, the institution was joined by the Reformed Church of East Africa, and in 1994 teamed up with the National Council of Churches of Kenya, what is commonly known as NCCK. And sorry, I've just learned that my slides are not moving. Maybe something I need to check. Let me just see. Just give me a minute. Amerab, kindly confirm if you can now see them.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, sorry about that.
And it's on a transition to a premier university?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Perhaps I can just go back. I don't know, can you see our commitment to you?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. And then what St. Paul's is all about, and the description of the university, and we've just done the history. And yeah, now we are transitioning to the Premier University.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So that is the brief history of St. Paul's University, and those are actually our partners that are joined at various times within the history of St. Paul's University. On 14th September in the year 2007, SPUTC was awarded a charter and became St. Paul's University. So we are a few years old as far as standing on our own as a university is concerned, and that is a pictorial evidence of the day that became a huge milestone for us as an institution. Who owns St. Paul's University? The ownership of St. Paul's University is made up of these 4 churches and 1 council. And these churches are the Anglican Church of Kenya, the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, the Methodist Church of Kenya, the Reformed Church of East Africa, and the National Council of Churches of Kenya. And these partners form the board of trustees. So where are we headed? Where are we headed as a university? Our vision is to be a university of academic excellence guided by Christian principles, producing graduates in various fields for global service. And this is what we normally summarize to mean a Christian university for global service. Basically, our mission, our vision is what we stand for. What do we believe in as a university, and where are we headed? We believe in being an institution of academic excellence. That means that in everything we do, we have to display excellence, be it in our service to you, be it in teaching you, our students, be it in any other facilitation whatsoever. We believe in promoting excellence in everything we do. But most importantly, we are also guided by Christian principles in producing graduates in various fields for global service. And that is one of our key strengths as a university, the fact that we are guided by Christian principles, and therefore we expect that our students, in carrying themselves, will also stand for this particular and important component of what we are constituted on. Our mission statement, why do we exist? If you like it, why do we wake up every other morning to serve? This is what we do on a normal day. Our mission is to develop servant leaders by imparting knowledge, skills, and values through creative methods of education, research, and spiritual formation. So every day, each officer at St. Paul's University wakes up to develop a servant leader. How? By imparting knowledge, skills, and values through creative methods of education, research, and spiritual formation. Creative methods of education may include what we are currently on. Offering education online is a creative method of education. Are we promoting research? Yes, still through the creative methods of education. Are we promoting spiritual formation? Yes, still through the creative methods of education. But essentially, this is the holistic description of who we are on a normal day, that our students will continue to learn and gain knowledge, skills, and values, and we will do that through the means possible and also facilitate research and spiritual formation. Our core values, one is ecumenism. We have already indicated that we are a Christian university, but we are open to all. But being open to all also means that one should be able to adhere and respect our Christian standing. We are also partners. That means that we are in this together. We are working collaboratively with you. Remember that by signing up at St. Paul's University, it means that you will carry our name forever. You will be defined by what we stand for, because your degree will be from St. Paul's University. So then this means that in case we have any difficulties or any challenges that wish to be addressed, that we are open to listen and to also empathize and resolve any issues that may be requiring our attention in an amicable way. So we are partners, and therefore we should perceive ourselves as such and work together to avert any challenges. We are also guided by integrity as a value in our actions and in our values. And remember, they say that integrity is what you do when nobody else is seeing you. So on the student perspective, your integrity is tested majorly when you have to engage in your assignments, and particularly when you're doing that online, and seeing to it that what you're providing for grading is your original work. The lecturers are also obliged to be persons of integrity in their interactions with students and in providing the service required to the students. Every other person is also obliged to be a person of integrity, to see to it that our values reflect in what we do. Professionalism is also another core value. We believe in professionalism. And this is professionalism that goes both ways. I believe that you are a professional wherever you are. We are also professionals in what we do. Again, when there is need for interaction, let us display professionalism in the way we construct our emails, in the way we respond to phone calls or make phone calls, so that business can be conducted in a professional way. Equity is also our core value. We believe in sameness. In the eyes of St. Paul's University, we are all equals, and therefore we strive to treat all our students as such. Customer-centric is a core value that we hold dearly, and this is pegged on meeting your needs as our customers and even exceeding your expectations as our customer. And so we are driven by this core value to ensure that there's efficient and effective service delivery, and therefore, as our customer, you will feel wanted and welcome to transact with us. We do have various campuses, and the photos are there. We have our Limuru campus, which is a very beautiful campus with lots of trees and lots of vegetation in its natural element. So Limuru campus, and then we have Nairobi campus, which is a church house. And then we have our Machakos campus and our Nakuru campus. I am sure you might have gotten a chance to visit one of those while you are signing up for admission. St. Paul's University is also an international university in its composition, that is both staff and students. And therefore, if you're an international student who has signed up with us, you are required to declare your nationality for the university to process your legal status. So let this be known so that you can be assisted as required to formalize your being a student with us. We do have an international and alumni office that deals with these matters, and therefore you are not allowed to hide your nationality. As far as the governance and the organizational structure of St. Paul's University is concerned, we do have the University Council, which is at the very top there. And then under it, we have the Senate and the Board of Management. And I will explain what those two do. The Board of Management oversees the day-to-day runnings of the university, from academics to support services. So ordinarily, as a student, you will not get to interact a lot with the members of the management board, but those are the people who work very hard behind the scenes to see to it that the university is running as it should. Then we have the University Senate, which will become a common phrase for you. This is what the University Senate does, or rather how it is constituted. It is under the chairmanship of the Vice Chancellor, who is primarily responsible for all academic issues and matters relating to student life. And then we do have the president of the SPUSA and the secretary general, who are members of the Senate. The SPUSA is the St. Paul's University Students Association. And this is where you elect representatives who actually become members of the Senate. So as student matters and students' academic matters are being discussed, or any other issues affecting students, these two students sit in the Senate in their own right and make contributions like any other senator in the House, and therefore they represent the students ably at that level. The Senate is responsible for all academic issues and matters relating to student life. So the Senate is responsible for academic policies. You have also been admitted through the University Senate. The Senate will clear you for graduation. The Senate is also responsible for ratification of all examinations. The Senate is responsible for the syllabuses, the formulation of the academic calendar and its implementation, and also student discipline. So there are many times when you will be told that you need to be patient when an issue is being addressed, because it has to be looked at by the University Senate. And when you hear that, basically, this is what we are talking about. Meet the People tour to just introduce you to a few members of the university, some that you may get a chance to meet and others that you may not get a chance to meet. We do have the Chancellor, who is Professor Margaret Kobia, and she is the titular head of the university and presides at all ceremonial assemblies of the university. And then we do have the Vice Chancellor. Sorry, I am missing that slide. The Vice Chancellor is Professor James Combo, and he welcomes you to St. Paul's University. And then under him, we have two Deputy Vice Chancellors. The one in charge of academic affairs is Professor Peter Ngure. And then we do have the one in charge of finance administration, who is Dr. Zablon Bundi. All of them welcome you to St. Paul's University. And then time to meet your deans. We do have 3 faculties at St. Paul's University: the Faculty of Theology, which is head by Reverend Professor Joseph Uchemurion. Then we have the Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, Dr. Suleiman Mwangi, and then the Dean Faculty of Business and Communication Studies, who is Dr. John Muhuhu. So each of you belongs to a faculty, a faculty is made up of different departments, and the programs that you have signed up for belong to those departments, and therefore the department is headed by a head of department who falls under a dean. So let me just show you another slide here to sort of try and explain that. The Faculty of Theology has two departments: the Department of History, Pastoral Religion, Theology, and Practical Studies. And then we also have the Department of Biblical Studies. So the two departments are headed by two heads of departments, and therefore you will always hear a lot of reference to your head of department. That is what that means. The Faculty of Business and Communication Studies has three departments. That is the Department of Business Studies. So if you have signed up for Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration, the Master of Business Administration, Diploma in Business Management, you fall under the Department of Business Studies. If you have signed up for a Bachelor of Arts in Communication, then you fall under the Department of Communication Studies. And we do not have any programs for computer science on distance learning per se. Then Faculty of Social Sciences has two departments: Department of Social Sciences, Nairobi, and Department of Social Sciences, Limuru. And the two also are headed by heads of departments. So if you have signed up for Bachelor of Arts in Leadership and Management, Bachelor of Arts in Community Development, Bachelor of Arts in Criminology, also Peace Studies, and related areas, then that becomes your faculty. We do have an academic calendar. An academic calendar provides dates that govern activities of the university within the academic year. Currently, we are on an academic calendar that has been running from the year 2019 to the year 2022. It is a 3-year calendar which helps you as a student to plan so that you are able to meet your obligations as required. Those obligations have to do with the registrations at the beginning of the semester, meeting your fee payment obligation, attending to your CATs, and planning for your examinations if you need to secure leave and things like that. We have learning facilities in terms of computer laboratories. The library, physical libraries are available in all our campuses. So if you have a chance to pop in, please do so. You are entitled to borrowing of physical books if you are able to. But as a distance learning student, you will find that the greatest resource for you will be the use of the ebooks and other related e-resources that are available in the library. We have studios, teaching studio in Limuru and a teaching studio in Nairobi, Churchill. So if you're a communication student, again, you'll find those resources very useful for some of the courses that you'll be required to do in terms of facilitating the practical components of those courses. Our expectation of you is that you are now part of a large body of students, both here and in other campuses, who are studying for various certificates, diplomas, and degrees. And therefore, you are required to abide by the discipline and rules of the university, which include paying fees, attending classes, submitting assignments, and meeting deadlines. So that is basically what we will require of you, so that you can sail through your study period seamlessly and get to graduation in a very, very, very smooth way. Our expectation of you also is that you will enjoy your studies at St. Paul's University, which is your university of choice. And you can be sure that you will love the experience, you will love the ambience if you happen to go to any of our physical campuses. And I'm sure you will also enjoy your studies. And like I have already said, we are partners. Do not allow yourself to get stuck or to get disgruntled. Each person available is here to serve, and we should be able to assist you to cross through any hurdles that you may experience in the course of your study with us. We therefore take pleasure in welcoming you once again to St. Paul's University, your university of choice. And with God helping us, it is our desire to see you get to graduation in a very short while amidst the challenges, and most importantly, to just congratulate you for making a decision to come back to the university at such a time like this. We understand the hurdles, the challenges, and the environment that we are in, but you have shown a resilient spirit by not taking a back seat and waiting for things to weather down, but rather tackling them head on and doing what is best for your career progression and for the improvement of your individual self. Thank you very much. And that is the end of this presentation, which I have done on behalf of Professor Ngure, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Grace, for that presentation. Indeed, we thought it's good for the new students to have that official welcome, as well as get introduced to the university. Because once you enroll as a student of St. Paul's University, it is expected that you will know a few things about your university of choice. That is why we deem that session as very important, because when somebody asks you, now you can be able to know about our history a bit. You will be able to know the structure, and you'll be able to know that it's actually a chartered university, meaning it is one of those universities which are allowed to give degrees, because we have all had stories about people enrolling in universities, and then at the end you are told actually your degree is invalid. So thank you, Madam Grace, for that presentation. I'm sure our students are now at a better place. As we move on, I'd just like to reiterate what we've been saying in the chat, that we switch off our microphones when we are not talking, because this will reduce the background noise. And then we switch off our videos, because when there's movement where you are, it distracts the concentration of everybody else, because we can't help seeing you, and yet we are trying to concentrate on the presentations. So kindly, if you can mute and put the videos off, it helps with our concentration. Thank you. And then if we have any questions, any observations, let's continue using the chat. The staff will continue responding to any emerging issues as we continue. That was just for noting. We will continue with our program, and I will once again invite Madam Grace Kinyanjui to now talk to us in her capacity as the Director of Distance and E-Learning Programs. Previously, she was representing the DVC AA, but now she will talk to us in her capacity as the Director of Distance and E-Learning. Welcome once again, Madam Grace. Karibu.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Merab. So I am now transitioning to what I know how to do best. I think this is where I am home and dry. So I'll now take you through distance and e-learning, the distance and e-learning component, which is the mode that you have signed up for. And this is where we do a bit of also housekeeping on what is required of you and what you need to know for you to go through these studies when you are off campus. So I will start by introducing you to the directorate, but before then, let me allow a few members of the Directorate, who you will be dealing with very closely, to unmute and just say welcome to you. And that is Edwin, if you're here, and Patricia, and they will also tell us what they do to support the directorate. Please feel free to unmute and let's hear from you. Edwin?
Thank you. Grace, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, if you can adjust your camera, we can also be able to see you. There you go.
Thank you. So my name is Edwin Wanjuru, currently serving the directorate in charge of the learner management system. We'll be interacting with you, and I will also have an opportunity to make a presentation to you, probably after the director. So we will interact more as we progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. Patricia, are you there? Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to St. Paul's for the new students. I'm Patricia Wanjuru, and I work at the directorate as the administration assistant. And I deal with issues to do with registration, timetabling, examinations. So we'll be interacting more as you proceed on with your studies. Karibuni sana. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Is Oscar here?
Hello, hi guys, and hello everyone. I am Oscar Webala, the instructional designer. Yes, essentially mine is to work along with the faculty or your lecturers so that we can provide you with an enhanced learning experience in terms of material and content and so on. Thank you and welcome once again.
Thank you, Oscar. I think we've all tried to put on our videos so that you can at least put a face to the name. We haven't been able to see Patricia, but she has a very clear photo. So that is us, and we warmly welcome you to St. Paul's University, and this is the team you will closely work with as an off-campus student. So allow me to put on my video so that I have an interrupted connection. Great, so I will jump into the presentation right away. Just allow me a minute. Okay, let me just pick it. In a few seconds, you should be able to see it. Please let me know if it's now showing. Can someone confirm?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Okay, so at St. Paul's University, we have been running DL programs for about 9 years now, eight and a half years, so to say. And it has been very successful. And over the years, we have grown. We have managed to set up structures that are working and systems and processes. And allow me to also say that as a result of that, as a university, we were able to transition everyone to virtual teaching and learning from March last year, when the universities were closed down because of the coronavirus pandemic. And that has been ongoing up until now. Even with the reopening of universities, it has become increasingly difficult to still have everybody come back on face-to-face because of space limitations, and we understand that we need to observe the social distancing requirements and things like that. So we still have a good part of our students still studying virtually, and we have been able to provide the much needed support to all. So we do have two portals currently, the e-learning portal and the v-learning portal, which I will be explaining later on, because I've also seen a few emails from our new students getting confused on what is going on in there. And I'm glad that Edwin will also tackle that very well during the demo so that you can understand how that goes. So let me start my presentation, and basically we look at what is distance learning. When you signed up for distance learning, I don't know what came to your mind, but basically distance learning is a flexible, accessible, and cost-effective mode of studying. Why are we saying it is flexible? It is flexible because you do it at your convenience. You can study from wherever you are. I've also seen a comment in the chat box by a student who was requesting for a recording of this orientation session so that she can do a rerun after work, because at work she has a few disruptions here and there. And that is what distance learning allows you to do, that you can be able to work during the day and study at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night at your own convenience. It is also accessible because regardless of where you are in the globe, you should be able to continue with your studies uninterrupted. And you may have noticed by now that the fees charged for this mode of study is also relatively lower compared to the other modes of study. It is also an alternative to the traditional classroom-based approach. The traditional classroom-based approach is what we are used to, the face-to-face interactions, but distance learning provides us with an alternative. So they are not equals, and we're not saying it is better or things like that, but it provides an alternative, same way you'd get an alternative to something else. If you're not using Blue Band to spread on bread, you can use peanut butter and things like that, and it will still serve the purpose. So it's just an alternative, but everything else remains constant. It is also a way of learning remotely with limited learner-student face-to-face interaction. So in this mode of study, you will realize that the interactions between lecturers and students are not as much, but they will be scheduled for, and your lecturers will invite you to synchronous sessions. That means sessions that are happening online, like what we are having right now. And when that happens, you will be required to attend your classes at the scheduled time. And if need for negotiation is there, so that you have a much more favorable time within your cohorts, within your classes, and with the help of the class representative, you should be able to reach out to your lecturers to arrive at a time that suits each and everyone. It also means engaging with learning materials at home or at work. I think I will not belabor that point, but these materials are produced by the university and are accessed via the internet on the SPU e-learning portal and the SPU e-learning mobile phone app. So this is what I was talking about. For us to deliver the virtual campus to you, we do it through what we call the St. Paul's University e-learning portal. So this is internet enabled. You will be provided with credentials to log into your e-learning portal, and you will be shown how to log into the e-learning portal. The virtual campus is hosted there. You will also have your virtual classrooms there. You will have your lecturers there, and you'll also have your colleagues there. So it is mimicking the natural environment of a face-to-face scenario, but now this is online. So it means at this point, you should start to think about whether you have a gadget to assist you with this, whether you have the technological know-how to navigate through the computer, and whether you have internet to help you access the SPU e-learning portal. Additionally, we do have a mobile phone application which is available on the Google Play Store. You can download it and it is free. And with the same credentials you use to log into the portal, you can use to log into the mobile phone application. What that does for you is that you're able to see the portal in your mobile phone within the same specifications. A mobile phone is smaller. It has a smaller screen, and therefore the portal, the e-learning portal, has been customized to fit within the capabilities of a mobile phone. So you'll find that one very useful, particularly if you are on the move or where you cannot access your desktop computer, or you did not carry your laptop, but you need to check on anything that you needed to follow up on or to check on new updates. That is what you need to have, a mobile phone, and download the app, and you'll be shown how to do it. As a distance learning student, tutorial support is provided through the virtual learning environment, telephone, email, and the e-learning portals. The e-learning portal allows you to chat with your lecturer, and so you're able to reach to them. But the most recommended mode of correspondence is email. We will provide our email addresses, which you will find useful for communication, because that is what helps us to follow up on matters as well as keep a trail of communication. Many instances, for some issues, when you make a mobile phone call, you'll still be required to do an email. So make emails your friend. And for emails, we only respond to emails which have been done using the St. Paul's University student email address. It is your identifier, and therefore you're required to use that. Also to mention, you are allowed to come face-to-face and visit our offices. That is not a crime. You're welcome. If you happen to be passing by Limuru, which is where we are stationed, or any of the campuses, feel free to just walk in and request for any service you may require. About the distance learning degree that you have signed up for, distance learning students cover exactly the same number of units as the regular students. So nothing changes. It's distance learning does not require you to cover less or more because it is distance learning, because you are off campus, but you cover the same number of units. The only difference is the mode of study. While the rest come on campus on a normal day without COVID-19, you would still be outside there doing your studies off campus. I also understand that we have been joined by a few students who are not going to stay on distance learning forever. When normalcy resumes, they will go back to face-to-face. But if you have signed up for distance learning, then our belief is that you are not only going to sail through it during the COVID season, but that is how you also intend to complete your studies. We also wish to state that our programs are fully accredited by the Commission for University Education. And I think during your time, the Commission for University Education will be visiting St. Paul's University to accredit the Odell Center. So preparations are in high gear to receive the government officials to come and look at how we offer Odell programs and accredit us as an Odell offering center. So this is being formalized, and in other ways it has already been formalized. As a distance learning student, you're an independent learner. And I am sure part of the motivation as to why you selected this mode is because you wanted some independence, because you're juggling between work, home, and everything else, and also studies, or because your work schedules do not support you to attend classes face-to-face, or you're always in the field, or you're always traveling, or you're out of this country, and therefore you're an independent learner. So it is prudent to point out that DL is not an easier route to a degree. It is not a shortcut. DL doesn't become easier because there is no coming to class for face-to-face interaction. If anything, it requires a set of skills. so that you can navigate through it seamlessly. Online students are required to feel comfortable in a learning environment, so they need to have the right skills and tools. I think I mentioned about having your device and having the skills required to use that device, and also the skills to navigate through the portals, which you will be shown how to today. So it should be easier. You should feel comfortable doing it so that you're able to move. Otherwise, if technology is one of the things that really challenge you, then you are going to have challenges. So at the bare minimum, you need to have the basic skills, the basic ICT skills for you to survive within the virtual environment. As an independent learner, then you should take responsibility for the learning process. Why? Because it is not confined within space and time in most cases. It is up to you to decide how you're going to run your affair and balance it with your studies. So you should have the discipline, the commitment, and time management. And this is what sets apart students that prosper on this mode of study and those that fail when it comes to examinations. You should dedicate at least 3 hours every week for each unit you are studying, so that you can at least cover content as required, and by the end of the semester, you will have been able to cover the syllabus as it has been stipulated. Our lecturers on the e-learning portal will guide you on a weekly basis on how to study for that particular course. They will set up synchronous sessions where you are required to join the teaching session and interact with your lecturer. So where that happens, please make time to be part of that, because if you don't, it means you are missing out. And it also means that you're compromising on the quality of training that you're receiving. That is an area we are struggling with, because students tend to activate something I love to call a TB syndrome, which is a too busy syndrome. You cannot be too busy for something that you have committed to. You have already paid your fees and you are committed to gaining this knowledge. So create time every time your lecturer sets up for this meeting so that you can equally gain. Remember, on a normal day, your peers who you're studying with in the same degree program, for some programs, are attending face-to-face sessions. So they are getting that interaction with their lecturers and amongst the students themselves. And therefore, by excluding yourself, you're missing out on that bit. So, and in DL, as an independent learner, we need to foster 3 presence levels: the cognitive presence, which is what you acquire when materials are given to you, the learning materials are given to you. But you also require the social presence. And that is what we seek to promote when we tell you start a WhatsApp group so that you can know who your classmates are, join these group discussions and gain from your colleagues, and come together, join Bible study groups, attend the online services and things like that. And then we have the teaching presence. When you don't come for those synchronous sessions, you're missing out on the teaching presence. And like I have already said, it has high ramifications. Our expectations of you as a DL student, a typical week for you will include something like reading through the current week's assignments and lecture materials. So as lecturers populate week by week, you have materials to read, you have assignments to check and attend to. You're also required to read the ebooks for the class as assigned and identify main points and supporting details. Remember, like I said, you're an independent learner. So when you set up apart the 3 hours to study, make a few notes here and there, you will need them at some point when you are stretched for time and need to study for your examinations, because we are also concerned about your performance being good. You're also required to respond by a deadline to discussion questions as posted by the instructor. Again, an area we are struggling with. When a lecturer posts a discussion question, it is our hope that students will take those activities seriously and respond. Your lecturers will be using something called a grading rubric. So For some cases, you will be awarded marks for attending to these discussions. When you go to your courses, you might even see your lecturers requiring you to introduce yourselves or contribute to intercessory sessions by posting a Bible verse or praying for your colleagues online. So go in there and type something and leave it there for everybody to benefit from. And that is good practice. You're also required to engage in discussions that have been posted in chat forums and things like that. So do not leave it like that. It has been put there for a reason and it's part of the process of learning. You're also required to complete and send by a deadline any assignments that have been given by your course instructor so that they can be graded on time. And allow me here to say that with technology, if you do not plan your time well and the deadlines elapse, it means the system will lock you out. Once you have been locked out, is synonymous to you not having turned up to do that cut or whatever it is that the lecturer had set out. And it's the same for examinations. So you need to go to the e-learning portal, look out for every communication that has been posted there. That's how we communicate with our students. There's a news section. That is where we post your timetables, we post any communication you require to know. And under your courses, you have to visit that every single day to see if there has been an update, because that is how you get to learn about the timelines. But then most importantly, keep together in your cohorts, form those WhatsApp groups. They become easier to communicate with your peers. So to enhance interactivity with the students, I think I've already talked about this. We have those face-to-face seminars, which are now the synchronous sessions that we have online. And then we have the St. Paul's University Learning Portal. And then we have a backup plan with the Distance Learning Forum, which shouldn't worry you. That's our arrangement to cater for any eventualities of technology. So our expectation is that you will download the timetable from the portal, register the correct units and book for the same. And you should ensure that this is done under the Distance Learning Virtual Campus. So this is your responsibility. Remember, you are an independent learner. We will support when you get stuck, but every semester, make it good practice to go to the portal, download your timetable, see which units have been offered, book for them, register for them, pay, so that you regularize your registration. And it's only after doing that that you're able to go to the e-learning portal. The portal where you do your registration is different from where you go to study. So it's until you do these preliminaries that you're now able to go and study. It's like passing through the office to pay your school fees and then going to class. That is what happens. And Edwin will ably take you through that. You're also responsible for checking all course instructional materials and cards that have been uploaded on the e-learning portal. Like I have said, all communication is there to do with your course. So unless you have a challenge, that is where you need to check up for your instructional materials. You're also required to familiarize yourself with standard operating procedures regarding issues such as appeal of exam results, application of credit transfers, as well as observe and adhere to deadlines that have been provided. Most of what will be said today has to do with standard operating procedures. The policies will be explained to you. Please pick a few things here and there because those ones will have an implication on your registration status or on one or two things as you move on with your studies. You're also required to initiate and maintain contact with the course instructors to achieve the maximum benefits of studying through this mode. Please make sure that you're present. The observation is that students show up for examinations or cuts and disappear when they're required to attend any other activity within the course. Please take those activities seriously because your lecturers are also going to, tighten the loose ends as far as teaching and learning is concerned. We also have a well-equipped e-library with millions of books and journals. Please make use of this rich resource. There is a library plugin within the e-learning portal, so you're just able to click on that and it redirects you to the library. The library also works very closely with us in offering trainings on how to access the e-library portal, the e-library rather. So when you see those schedules circulated, please make time so that you are part of that and you will gain immensely. Examinations currently are being offered online. Previously, before COVID, examinations would be done face-to-face. The good news is that presently the university is in the process of securing an online proctoring solution, so that will allow you to do exams from where we are, but that is work in progress. But currently examinations are being done online. I will not dwell on that much. We've already talked about the academic calendar. So the DL program dates are harmonized with the wider university dates. So any date that is on the academic calendar is what we utilize. So be sure to observe that. We have plenty of support services available for you as our distance learning student. We have the Students Handbook Guide of the University Activities for New Students. That is available on your student portal. We have the DL Students Handbook, which we avail to our DL students, that answers or provides guidance on matters affecting DL students. That is also available, and it is posted on the e-learning portal. We have counseling services, and Merab is able to speak to that, which are also facilitated online. And then if available, please participate in sporting activities once normalcy resumes, because you're also making a payment towards those kind of things. We have mentorship and we do have clubs. Again, some of these are subject to resumption of normalcy. As I finish, when it comes to the administration of DL programs and the running of the DL Center, myself, I lead the directorate and I act as the link between the students and the faculty, as well as other support services. Then we have Patricia, who you have already met. Patricia is our administration assistant and does a good job supporting us in addressing all matters affecting all academic support, academic services. So she provides support in that area. Queries to do with learning materials, coursework, and examinations. Then we have Edwin, whom you will meet later. He is the expert on the e-learning portal and related technologies and other teaching and learning technologies. Then we have Oscar, our instructional designer, who ensures that the quality of materials provided is good for the online learning environment. So that's the team that we work closely, you will work closely with as a distance learning student. And I think I'm missing a slide on our contact information, and maybe I can request Edwin to post our email addresses. But the most important email address is the office email address, and that is manned by Patricia, and that is distancelearning@spu.ac.ke. And then Edwin's email address, which is also very important. I'm sure he will provide that. Myself too, I can be reached in case there is need to, and we are all ready to support. If anything, we all work together and address all these issues collectively. And as I finish, again, to warmly welcome you and thank you again for choosing to study at St. Paul's University, your university of choice. So as I finish off my session, I think, again, I want to reiterate and say that we have been at it. We have seen our students come and go. You have been placed in the hands of a good team. St. Paul's University is a good university. You will be able to sail through your studies very, very successfully. And I am sure in 2-3 years' time, you will look back and you will thank God that you actually made this decision. So we pray for your success in this journey, and we pray for God's guidance and wisdom and even provision, and that God will keep you safe and protect you in everything that you do, having been part of this big family. Thank you, Merab, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Director, for that comprehensive presentation about distance learning. I'm sure now our students are in a better place and they'll be able to navigate through the course with that input from your office. Thank you once again. To our new students, just like to let you know that a bit later this morning, we are going to be meeting our heads of departments, depending on the courses we have enrolled for. So you will get links sent to your phones, and kindly, when the time comes, because I will announce, you will log into the specific program link that depending on the course you have enrolled for. So for example, if it's a business course, then you will see the link to the business, and that is the one you will log into. If it's communication, the same, you will see which link is for your course. So when the time comes, I will let you know. But I'm just alerting you so that when you get the link on your phone, you don't get confused. I will alert you when the time comes. So in the meantime, we'll continue engaging with you on the chat. Feel free. And then we'll continue with the presentations. So right away, I would like to invite Edwin to take us through ICT, which is a very important component about our learning, especially this particular mode of study. So please pay attention. It's important that you work with him. Karibu sana, Edwin. Please proceed.
Thank you, Merab. Just give me a moment so that I can share my screen.
Okay, as Edwin does that, I'll take this opportunity because Madam Grace mentioned it about the support services. I happen to be the student counselor, and because I'm here, I have put our email address on the chat. It's counselor@spu.ac.ke. Should you have any issues, don't struggle alone, don't walk alone. There's support available. Just write an email and you will be able to get the necessary help, because we know that we are going through difficult times. It's a time of many losses, a time of anxiety, a time of uncertainty. So this can affect various of us in different ways. So should that happen to you, don't feel overwhelmed. Just reach out and there's help available. Thank you. We are still giving Edwin a few minutes to sort himself out, then he can be able to make his presentation.
Yes, in about 2 minutes, I will be on.
Thank you, Edwin. So I hope that we are now feeling more comfortable as we start this journey at St. Paul's. We've learned about the university. We've now gone through the distance learning program. You've learned quite a number of things even so far, and I trust that you are appreciating why we do organize for orientation. It is just to prepare you for the journey ahead and how to maneuver through the different aspects. That is why we have orientation. We want to make your journey more comfortable and help you settle in as fast as possible. Thank you.
Perhaps we can take a question or two. I see a few hands going up.
Oh, asante sana. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyone with a question, I think they have already lowered their hands. So if you have a question, we can respond at this point. As Owino, kindly go ahead and mute.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Yes, I work in the chaplaincy department at Kenyatta National Hospital.
Yes.
And I felt this would be very helpful for me, this mode of study.
Mm-hmm.
The first question I had was on credit transfer,
mm-hmm.
because it's important before we register for the units to ensure that that is done. How will we do that online?
Okay. Credit transfers, you should be able to do them as soon as we are done with today's sessions. During the program briefings, where you will meet your head of departments or whoever they have nominated, that will be explained to you very well. And then you'll be advised on how to go about it, and also how you will submit your documentation for the same. And that will be done. The rest we facilitate on our end. All I know is that if you apply for credit transfers for the courses that you have applied for, please do not book to do them, because you don't know what the verdict will be like, and you don't want a situation where you have been exempted for a course, but you are still doing it, or you have already completed it. It will be a loss. So that would be my advice, so we know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, please feel free to unmute and ask. Edwin, when you're ready, do let us know.
In the meantime, Madam Director, there are some questions in the chat.
Okay.
Perhaps you can respond.
I'm only seeing one from Nyamai asking about the WhatsApp groups and whether they should be formed by the students taking that course. Yes, that is what happens. You form WhatsApp groups and then students taking that course are all added in. What I usually do myself is, if I'm teaching a class and I'm able to access my students, I just get one to create a link which I share on the e-learning portal, and the rest only need to use it to join the group. So that is what is likely to happen, or the lecturer can create and put it there for every student to join. But yes, join WhatsApp groups per cohort. So if you are doing history, geography, you may want to start one for yourselves as new students, and see how that goes. But basically, that's how they evolve. Every semester, there are new WhatsApp groups. We are always leaving some and joining others depending on where you need to serve. Those doing criminology, Agnes is asking to be added already. So there needs to be a bit of organization in doing this. Maybe if we can have volunteers, that would help. So someone like Agnes, you can form a WhatsApp group for criminology students just now and post it here, and then they will be able to join, the new students, because they're all here. And then they will click on it and be able to join. And that is how you begin one for yourselves. And that support service is very important. Please, in as much as possible, have those groups. They help you a long way to know what is happening and to also facilitate group discussions and things like that. So if you're here and you feel moved, or you would want to volunteer to start this, please just form that link and say, for criminology students, use this, and then they will all find you there. Great. And then there is David. How will we register for the units? David, you will shown how to do that today. You will be shown how to do that today, if you still haven't done so. I know some have already registered, or they were registered for by the registry, and have been looking forward to beginning their classes. Edwin, once ready, let us know.
Okay, so can now carry on with the presentation. Confirm that you can see my screen, Grace and Merab.
It's coming up.
Okay. I think it's up now.
Not yet.
Okay, let me reshare again. Can you see it now, Merab?
Yes.
Thank you. So once again to our students, I'm Edwin, and we will be working closely throughout your journey by offering you support in ICT related matters, ensuring that you're able to access the portals, and also ensuring that you're able to go through your notes and other learning materials that will be posted. So in my presentation today, which will be quite brief, I'm going to show you how to access your portal and how to access the units that you have been registered for, how to take part in what we call discussion forums, and probably also show you how some of the restrictions that your lecturers will put in place to ensure that you actually take part in those activities. As mentioned by the director, the virtual or the learning management system, which is the e-learning portal, is your classroom. And in a normal class, there are those activities that you're expected to take part in. You're expected to take part in discussion forums. You're expected to take part in group work. You're also expected to take part in cards and assignments that the lecturers are going to give you. Now the difference is that all this is being facilitated in an online platform, and as such, we usually put in restrictions to ensure that by the end of the day, everybody is able to participate in that. Probably something that the director will also emphasize on is that these activities are tied to marks. So if you do not take part in a given activity, you're disservicing yourself, because by the end of the semester, that activity, you're going to miss marks for that activity. And we are going to see how some of the lecturers ensure that is done. So I will go straight to logging into the portal. So to log into the portal, using your browser, whether you're using Mozilla, whether you're using Chrome like myself, Opera Mini, Safari, whichever browser you're using, there are two ways in which you can get into the portal. At the address bar up here, you can type the link, which is https://elearning.spu.ac.ke. And once you enter that, it's going to open this platform for you where you'll be required to enter your student number, which is your username, and the password. The other way that you can get in through your browser still at the address bar, you go to the university website, which is www.spu.ac.ke. And once you are there, you will find about 5 links up here. The first one is the staff portal. You are not really interested in the staff portal. The next one is the students portal, and this is the platform that you use to register your courses. This semester, you are a bit lucky because your units have been registered or have been booked for you. The only thing you need to do is to register them by our registry. But starting next semester, then you will be the one to register your courses. Unit registration, and I believe the registry team will be joining us later in the day, is your responsibility as a student. So you use that platform that we call the students portal. At the students portal still, you are able to access your financial statements. Your fee statement is there. You're also able to view your pro forma invoice, which shows you how much you're expected to pay per semester and probably the amount you need to deposit first before you can register. Finance will talk about that. And you're also able to access the teaching timetables and your examination results through the students portal. Next to that is the e-learning portal. And the e-learning portal is the platform that you will mainly be using as distance learning students. So as a DL student, you're expected to use the e-learning portal unless otherwise advised. And this platform is for you who have chosen the distance learning mode of study, which means that in normal circumstances, in absence of COVID-19, you would still not come to class. Next to that is the V-Learning portal, which is the platform that the university implemented after the closure of the universities last year in March. And this is the platform that all the other students have been using to facilitate their studies. So the V-Learning portal is for the students in day, evening, modular, and weekend modes of study. But as you carry on with your studies, you will note that at some point, you may book a unit or two that is outside your mode of study, which is allowed. But before you do that, we need to give you an approval so that you don't end up confusing yourself or maybe missing out on your cohort, and you end up having some units at the end of the semester that, or maybe at the end of your studies that you're not able to cover. Next to that is the check mail, and that is a link to your email address. I believe at the point of admission, the ICT desk helped you activate your email addresses, and that is the address you're expected to use in communicating to any university officer. It's also the email address that we use to send out communication to you, of course, in addition to communication through the portals and also other platforms like SMSs and phone calls. So when you're on the website and you want to go to the e-learning portal, you just need to click on that and it will open again that platform for you to join the e-learning portal. You will be required to enter a username, and the username here I've mentioned is your student number and a password. And the password here is the same password that you're using for your student portal. And with that, I will enter my student number, which happens to be that, and a password, which is that. Now, we have had cases where some of you, as you're putting in your student numbers, add this at spu.ac.ke. And when you do that, it will give you an error. You will not be able to log in. You will get that error simply because you did not put in your student number as it's supposed to be. So when you're logging into the e-learning portal, kindly just use your student number as it is. If it's that like mine, CSP058, then I would just need to put that, and then I put a password. Just a moment. So I've put in my password and I'm now in the e-learning portal. So once I'm on the e-learning portal, I will go through some of the tabs up here. We have the home, I will come back to that. We have the dashboard, and the dashboard here just shows you the units that you have registered for. And at some point, it's going to show you the progress you have made in covering the content that the lecturer has already posted for you on the portal. So you will be able to view the units that you have been that you have registered for in a given semester through the dashboard. That is one way. Next to that is events, and the events here is more or less like a diary Once we start giving you activities, you have deadlines to meet, probably like discussion forums, we probably have like cards, virtual classes. You will be able to see all that in under the events, which is your diary. As such, we really don't expect you to have any excuse like I didn't know a certain activity was due on a given date, because you have the calendar there, and you will also be getting notifications through your portal that a certain activity is expected to take place on a certain day and at a certain time. Next to that is the My Courses tab, and My Courses tab works the same as the dashboard. It lists down for you the units that you have registered for in a given semester. So for instance, in my case here, this semester I'm only registered for one course, that is BMA 209, and we are going to look into that. Next to that is the examinations portal. That is going to be covered probably in August, just before you do your examinations. Next to that is the library. And the library here is supposed to guide you to access our online library resources. Our library team has been holding a series of trainings for you, and probably your first session will be next week on Thursday. We are going to communicate to you, and so that you are able to access our online library. It has various resources in all the fields that you have been admitted for. If you're in theology, we have numerous resources for theology. If you're in computer science, if you're in communication, whichever field you are in, the library has taken care of you. You will find all those resources there. Next to that is the chaplaincy, and the chaplaincy here is for spiritual nourishment. Reverend Diane talked about spiritual formation, which is part of our identity as a university. And when it comes to the chaplaincy, you just click on that and you'll be able to see the announcements. You'll also be able to see the Bible study guides that are going to be populated, and so on and so forth. Next to that is the counseling tab. Again, Merab and the other counselor in the university, Lydia, usually post materials here. You'll be able to get, I think, a monthly newsletter and also various articles that they write to shed light on more issues related to counseling. So do not agree to suffer alone. Reach out to them and they will be able to assist you. Finally, we have the news and announcements, and this section basically is shows you the announcements that have been made by the university. For instance, we have Patricia informing students that they need to register for attachment. The teaching timetable or the registration timetable for the current semester is also posted. We also hold meetings for our DL students. All that information will be posted in that section, and you will be able to access all that. So to access, for instance, the registration timetable, I know which is very key for you, you just need to click on that link. And once you click on that link, then you will be able to see the timetable. There's a notice there, and if you have any queries, then you need to send them to that email address that has already been given there. And to access that timetable, you just need to click on download. You just need to click on it and it will automatically download to your device, and you will be able to view that teaching timetable, which is very important for you. Probably just briefly to take or to run you through the timetable. We have the various programs that you are taking. It usually starts with the Department of Business. We start with the specialization courses. For you, you have been admitted in the August 2021 intake. So for the August 2021 intake, you will be able to access your courses down here, or just search, or you can be able to search through the timetable by just pressing Ctrl and F on your device, and then you go to August 2021 intake. Once you enter that, it should be able to take you to the specific units for whatever program that you are taking. So you're able to access those courses through the timetable and confirm that you're well registered for them. That is about the timetable. Now, when it comes to, that is basically how the news and announcements work. So the home tab here, the one that I left out at the beginning, basically allows you to go to the very first page of the portal when you log in. So at this point here, I want to go to the very first page of the portal. Then I click on it and it takes me there. Now at this section here, the site announcements works the same way as the news and announcements, only that now this actually arranges them in a specific order. For instance, the latest one was made on 12th May, and it's a survey which you need to fill in. As the director has mentioned, we are in the process of acquiring an online exam solution, and we need to do a survey to see how prepared you are, and if and to allow us to take any corrective measures that we may need to take as we embark on that. So that section there works almost the same way as the news and announcements. You'll be able to see all those announcements there. On the right side, we have the calendar, and the calendar here will start populating for you in dates that have activities that you need to take part in will be highlighted in a pink color, and if you go to that, you'll be able to see those activities. If there's any activity on a given date, it will be highlighted in pink, and if you place your cursor up at that point, you'll be able to see the activity and whatever date that is by whatever date you're supposed to do that. Then the latest announcements, again, you will see that there. You also be able to see navigation, and under this navigation again, you can be able to see the units that you have registered for under My Courses. So if you go to this My Courses, then you are able to see the units that have been registered for. You will not have the administration bit, but you will be able to see the number of online users who are there. So for instance, we have about 21 active users at the moment, and you'll be able to see all that. Down here, we have important documents. We have the Students Policy Guide, which the director mentioned. We have a Students User Guide, which is a PDF document that shows you the navigation process of the portal. So whatever I'm going to show you here is also in form of a PDF document. We also have a Students User Demo that will basically be a link to some YouTube channel that has very precise and short videos on various activities. For instance, if you want to go into responding to a discussion forum, there's a short video for that. Answering your cards, there's a short video on that. Taking part in quizzes, there's a short video on that. So you'll be able to see all those short videos there. Then we have a section of frequently asked questions and the student's handbook. It's important that you go through all those documents because they're important for you. We have email addresses for support. All registration issues should be raised with the academic registries, and we mainly work with the Limuru registry and the registry in Nairobi campus. So you have their email addresses there. Examination queries, once you start receiving your exams and your exams results and their queries that you have, again, they are addressed to those email addresses. For Limuru, Nakuru, and Machakos, we use examinations Limuru at spu.ac.ke, while for Nairobi campus, we use examinations Nairobi at spu.ac.ke. Our administrator's email address, Patricia, is there. It's distance learning at spu.ac.ke, and also in addition to the email address that I shared earlier. Then for ICT support, this comes to me or Oscar in my absence. Again, it's there, ict-odel at spu.ac.ke. If you want to talk to us on phone, we have the phone numbers there. And if you want to reach our public relations office for general queries, those are the email addresses to use. Admissions at spu.ac.ke for any queries regarding admission. And for general inquiries to the university, it's info@spu.ac.ke. So basically, that's how the portal looks like once you get in there. Now, the learning process, we have said it takes place in the portals. So you're going to be called for other training sessions, you together with the other new students who are there. And the trainings will start next week. I think we have a session next week on Wednesday evening, starting at 7, to show you some other aspects of the portal. So today I'm just going, I'm just expected to show you how to access the portal, how to access the units that you have registered for, and how to view your learning materials. And I will mention briefly how to take part in a discussion forum. Then from next week now, we are going to show you how to access your virtual classes using a platform we call the Big Blue Button. So next week on Wednesday at 7 p.m., make it a date with us so that we can take you through that. As we progress, you're going to be trained more on various aspects like responding to cards, or maybe uploading your cards for grading, viewing the class recordings that are there, and so on and so forth as the semester progresses. But that schedule will be shared with you, so you don't need to worry about that. So to access your units, we have already mentioned 3 ways. I don't know how many of us can remember that. We have mentioned 3 of them. Maybe someone on the chat, you can mention one of them. On the chat, maybe one way in which you can access units that you have been that you have registered for. Okay, seems nobody was paying attention. So to access the units that you have registered for, there are 3 ways. The first way is through the dashboard. If you click on the dashboard there, you will be able to see the units that you have registered for. If you have registered for 6, which is the case for majority of us, you'll be able to see the 6 there. But the dashboard also shows you how much you have covered the content that has been shared with you by your lecturers. That is one. The second way is through the My Courses tab. If you place your cursor over the My Courses tab, then you are able to see the units that you have registered for in that particular semester. If there are 6, it will list for you all the 6 units that you have registered for. The third way is through the navigation. So if we go to home, on the right side of the screen, we have navigation. Again, we have My Courses, and it lists down for you the units that you have registered for in that particular semester. So in whichever way you find easier, whether it's through the dashboard, whether it's through the My Courses tab, or whether it's through the navigation bit, to access a specific course, you just need to click on it. And once you click on that course, it will open for you the learning materials that have been posted by your lecturers, and you're expected to go through those learning materials. So for those who are taking the course BMA 209, that is Management Information System, I don't know whether you are lucky or unlucky, because I am the one taking you through the course. And of course, you'll be able to see some of the ways in which we are able to ensure that you take part in all the class activities. So the first thing you will find is a welcome note from your lecturer, and probably they'll just mention your name and just welcome you to the class. We will also be sharing with you the ground rules. So for instance, for those taking this course, there are 3 issues that you need to note. That taking part in class activities is compulsory. Attending the virtual classes again is compulsory, and the lecturer has mentioned the frequency in which you're going to be holding those virtual classes. And he has already mentioned that they'll be held starting at 6 p.m. on the date that has been agreed on. For communication, again, it's very clear. The lecturer has stated that it's through the e-learning portal, your email addresses, and a WhatsApp group whose link will be shared. We have the grading rubric. How are the marks going to be shared in the course of the semester? So the total examination is out of 100%, which comprises of 70% coursework and 30% final examination. However, this may change depending on the direction given by the University Senate. And the 70% coursework is distributed as shown there. Discussion forums will attract 20 marks. 2 cards will attract 30 marks. Individual weekly activities will attract 15 marks, and the attendance of virtual classes will attract 5 marks. So you already know as the semester begins. If you do not take part in discussion forums, then you are putting 20 marks in jeopardy. If you don't take part in the 2 cards that are going to be given again, you are letting yourself miss out on 30 marks. If you do not take part in the individual weekly activities, again, you are missing out on 15 marks. Every class you miss eats into the 5 marks that the lecturer has given for attending those virtual classes. So you are expected to take note of all those issues so that by the end of the semester, if you get 0 marks for discussion forums and probably now your coursework is 50 out of 70, then unfortunately you have not taken part into the in cards, that it's further into the 70 marks. So you need to be keen on those activities, and the lecturers will actually post that for you so that you know how marks are going to be distributed in the course of the semester. The lecturer will also share with you the netiquette that is shared there. How do you act or how do you behave when you are in an online meeting? So make sure you go through that. The principles of online education, the director has demystified what online education is, and again, there are further tips that the lecturers will share with you on what online education is. We have the forum on Meet the People tour, which is actually the first activity that the lecturer expects you to take part in. So Meet the People tour, basically you're expected to introduce yourselves, and in this the lecturer has already given a guide on that. You will be expected to introduce yourselves, state the expectations you have of the course and the campus that you are studying from. And probably the lecturer has also done the same. They have mentioned who they are, what they do, their contact information, their research interest, and where their offices are, and so on and so forth. Notice this restriction here. That forum is only open between 21st of May, that was last night, starting at midnight, to 26th May 2021. So if you do not take part in that forum by then, you will be locked out. And once you are locked out of that, you will note that the course outline and introduction again is restricted unless you have filled in the Meet the People tour. That will be inactive. You will not be able to download that course outline on your end. So make sure that all those activities that the lecturers are going to post, you take part in them and you take note on the deadlines. So the first thing I need to do before I can access the course outline is, of course, to fill in the Meet the People tour. The lecturer has already given the guide. I introduce myself, what my expectations are, and the campus that I'm studying from. So to take part in that, I need to click on it. That is the Meet the People tour. I just need to click on that. And then I click on Add Discussion once this window opens. So I click on that again, and I'm able to add my contribution. So when you are responding to that, always make sure that you respond to that by using your student number and your name. So my student number is that, and my name is that. So I'm using the account of my colleague Oscar. That's why I'm calling myself Oscar, but I remain Edwin. So that is it. I put in my student number and my name. So here, of course, I mentioned my name. I expect to learn more on establishment and development of business information systems and how to use them, to use BIS, that is Business Information Systems, to gain strategic, to gain competitive advantage in the market. I am studying from the Moru campus. So that is as brief as that. So I've already introduced myself, given the expectations, and I've mentioned the campus I'm studying from. So once that is done, I just need to scroll down and click on Post to Forum. But before that, if you're not comfortable responding to that discussion forum there, you can actually type it out in Word document and add it in this section that is named attachment. So to do that, I just need to click on Add Files here. Then I click on Upload a File. Then I click on Choose a File. That will allow me to go into my device and search for that for the document that I want to upload. So maybe I've already done that. So I just need to click on that, search for the document you want to upload, and then you click on Open, and it will be uploaded on the portal. Once it's here, you are now able to see it there. You scroll to where you have upload this file and click on it. And once you are there, the document is already uploaded on the portal. Now, to ensure that the lecturer is able to see this and my other colleague students, then I just need to scroll down and click on Post to Forum. Once I do that, then I'm able to, I've already responded to that. And when the lecturer comes, he's able to see that, or he's able to just click on that and see what I said on my end. Let's say you want to edit that. To do that, you just need to click on this edit option here, and it will actually take you back to the point where you added that, and then you are able to make your changes. And once you are done, you just need to click on Save Changes. Once that is done, if I go back to the course now, the BMA 209 unit, you will be able to see that the Meet the People tour here has now been marked complete because I've met the conditions. The conditions was to view that and to make a contribution. So once that is done, then the course outline will no longer be restricted. You'll be able to access that. So to come to this again, before you even open on that, you open the course outline, you need to go through the communication the lecturer has posted there, which is a general introduction to matters relating to business information systems and information technology and how that works. Then you will be able to see if there are any announcements, like this is this that has been put in bold, then you are able to see that something needs your attention there. So to access the course outline, you will be able to see that there. You just need to click on it, and it will automatically download to the device that you're using. That is how you will be accessing your learning materials. All the learning materials that are posted there, you'll be able to access them by just clicking on them. That works when it's a PDF document, when it's a Word document, when it's a PowerPoint presentation, and maybe a video or an audio file. If you just click on it, it will automatically download to the device you are using. Then from there, it's up to you as a student to organize how they're going to be saved in your device. Maybe you have a folder for each unit that you're taking so that you save all the learning materials there. The other thing is that your lecturers may post your learning materials in form of internet links, like the one we have here. This will take us to an external resource. So if I click on that again, it will basically take me to the resource that the lecturer has posted. That is a video on introduction to information systems, and you are able to follow that. So you're able to watch that. So learning materials will be available to you in various forms. You will have internet links, you will have PDF documents, you will have Word documents, you will have PowerPoint presentations, you will have videos, and you will have audio files. So it's up to you to make sure you access each and every resource that your lecturer is going to give you. And I think with that, you now have an introduction on how to access the portals and how to access the fast learning materials that the lecturers are going to share with you and how to take part in the various activities. The only activity that we have mentioned today is the discussion forum. In subsequent trainings, then you're going to see how to access other resources that will be shared with you. So Merab, I want to hand it back to you and to Grace, and then we can have further questions before we have the next presenter. Merab?
Thank you, Edwin. That was, again, another comprehensive presentation. I know some of our new students are just wondering, wow, will I be able to maneuver? Let me assure you that yes, you will. When you start doing it, you'll find that it's workable. And the best part is you have support at hand, so you will not get lost. And if you do, just reach out and you'll get help. So we can, again, Emma is agreeing with me. Yeah, it sounds like very difficult, but once you start using it, it gets easier. And then like everything else, practice makes perfect. So soon you'll be gurus in all this. So let's continue to engage in the chat. And I'm sure the team is here. They will respond to you. We continue. Thanks again, Edwin. And just be there to respond to some of the questions that may come up. So I will invite John Munira from Finance to also give us a presentation because it's important that we also understand how finance works so that we don't get into problems and so that we are able to know how matters finance go. So welcome, John. John Munira, accounts. As he organizes himself, we can respond to one or two questions. The team is still here, they will respond to you. Anybody with a question, you can either put in the chat or one question can be asked. Okay, or we are feeling overwhelmed. Please don't feel overwhelmed, it is well. I can see John is ready. So welcome, John. John, are we there? John, I think he's still preparing himself. John, please unmute. Okay, John says he's trying to share the slides. In the meantime, colleagues, you can probably respond to our students in the chat or the issues raised. Somebody, Stanley, is asking about the mobile app. Somebody else is trying to log into the portal but can't. Somebody's asking how to register for BCSS Criminal Justice. Colleagues, if you're able to respond, perhaps you can just respond so that we move together. In the meantime, John, let us know when you're ready. John, are we ready? Thank you, colleagues, for continuing to respond to the students' queries. Feel free to continue. Let's continue engaging there. I can see John Munira is ready.
Hello.
John.
Good morning,
Yes.
everyone.
Good morning. Go ahead.
My name is John Munira, and I work in finance department, and I work with Justa, Wawira, and we are based at Church House, first floor. So I'll just go straight away to my presentation. In the first presentation, it is in regards to student registration, and the steps is first the student has to book the units, then view the pro forma invoice, which will be which the student is able to view from the student portal. This will guide the student how much the fees is supposed to pay for the whole semester, the 40%. So once the student has been able to see how much they are required to pay the minimum amount of 40%, and they are paid, they'll be able to register themselves financially through their student portal. Also, students will not be able to register financially if they haven't attained the 40% threshold. Fee payments, for those who have the capability to pay the full amount, that's well and good. For those who cannot pay the full fees, the first month we require the student to pay the 40% tuition fee. Second month, either the student can pay 30% tuition fee. Third month, then the student can clear the remaining balance of 30%. Or alternatively, a student can pay the first month 40%, then 3 weeks before the exams, then you can clear the 60% that is remaining. What happens if one is not financially registered? The student will not be able to appear on the class list. That's one. They'll not be able to receive the modules, the cards and assignment, and then also the registration will not be done past the deadline. So meaning the student will be required to defer that current semester and resume the classes the next semester when the university reopens. Fee payments methods. Student can bring banker's check to the university or deposit cash direct to the university account. Second method of payment, you can pay through the M-Pesa paybill number, and our paybill number is 632-333. The account number is your admission number, the way it has been captured on the student ID card. Also ensure that you enter in capital letters, because the moment you enter your admission number in small letters, you'll always get an error stating that the organization that you're trying to pay in does not exist. We also do not encourage students to pay through agency, that is agents, either family, equity, or national, because most of the time the agency do not capture the full details of the student. And then all payments processing are done at the accounts office, and you can also obtain official receipts on all payments, or you can print the receipts from your portal. Details on the bank slip. Ensure that the teller captures your full student number. Also ensure that the registration number is entered correctly, because the moment they mistake one number, that payment can be credited to the other student. And then ensure that the university bank account is correct. And then our banks are as below stated, that is National Bank, Family, and Equity. Now, for the past 2 years, we have synchronized our system with the bank system, so that when you deposit cash through the bank, the payment reflects immediately. So you don't need to master or to master the account number. What you need to do is just go to the teller between National Bank, Family, or Equity. Give the teller your admission, your student ID card plus the money. Then they'll be able to credit that money into our account, and then once we run our system from our backend, the payment will reflect immediately. We have other finance costs. Then the first one is a penalty. Every semester we do have a deadline for registration. So once that deadline for registration is closed, any student who will want to register themselves so that they can access the modules, normally we charge them 500 shillings per day for a maximum of 6 days. That which is 3,000. So let's assume I'm a student, and the registration period ended today. So when I come on Monday and I do want to register myself, I'll be penalized 500 shillings. The second student who comes the second day, that is on Tuesday, the penalty will be 1,000 shillings. Another student who comes on Wednesday, the penalty becomes 1,500. So meaning that registration period with surcharge runs for a period of 6 days. After the 6 days, no student can be allowed to register themselves. They'll be forced to defer that semester and resume once the university opens the next semester. Then we have swapping of unit. This arises whereby the student books a different unit from the one he wants to do, and the registration period has been closed. Normally, for registry or distance learning to be able to change that unit to the correct unit, we normally charge 1,000 per unit. For partial transcript, we charge 1,000. For exam remark, for those who will not be satisfied with the results, we normally charge 2,500 per paper. For student ID replacement, we charge 500, and then adding a unit past the deadline. This is whereby you find sometimes most of the students, maybe they had booked 3 and then the registration period has been closed. Probably after 2 or 3 days, they want to add an extra unit so that all the units can total to 6. We normally charge 1,000 per unit for distance learning or for registry to be able to add that unit. For those who for failed exams, students are required to book and pay afresh for those units and be able to do the coursework, that is cards and assignment, and also sit for the exams. Every semester, the university or different department normally every academic calendar, every department normally issue out a course planner. This one normally shows the units that will be offered within a particular academic period. So most of the time, students do a mistake by using the course planner instead of the timetable to book a unit. Now, when a student books a unit that is not on offer, and the deadline of registration has been closed, for that unit to be removed, that is not on offer, we normally charge 1,000 per unit. So when booking the units, always ensure that you check the timetable and not using the course planner of the course outline. Then other finance charges, we do have credit transfer. For those who have done professional courses or diploma and they are doing undergraduate and they wish to apply for exemptions, they'll be guided by the department on how to apply for the exemptions. And once they have been given the exemptions, it becomes payable the semester that they have been granted the exemptions. Cancellation of a credit transfer, the student must write an email through the HOD, copy registry, and accounts office requesting to drop the credit transfer. Fee transfers, it is done from one program. It is done whereby a student is transiting from one program to another. For example, let's take an example that I'm a student and I've done my certificate and I would wish to progress my education by doing diploma, and I'm having an excess money in my certificate account. So I'll be required to write an email to the accounts officer requesting that money to be transferred from my certificate program to the diploma program. Normally this takes within a day for us to effect that transfer from the old from the previous program to the new program. Note, fees is not transferable to other students. Then graduation fees is normally payable the last semester or after you have applied to graduate. Also, attachment is normally paid in full. And in this one, I'll want to give an example whereby let's assume I'm doing maybe 3 units plus attachment. So I'll be required to pay the full amount of attachment plus the 40% of the other 3 units for me to be able to register myself financially and be able to access the modules, cards, and assignments. Then we have exams clearance, exams deferral, and semester deferral. So I want to emphasize between the exams deferral and semester deferral. Semester deferral, this is whereby a student has registered himself or herself financially towards the beginning of the semester, and then unavoidable circumstances then happens. What normally happens, and the student cannot be able to continue with the study, they are required to write an email to the principal, to the HO, and copy the HOD, registry, and accounts office requesting to defer the semester. And then in regards to deferral of the deferral of exams, this arises whereby the student has paid the 40% tuition fee, they registered themselves financially, they accessed the modules, they did all the cards and assignment, but they're not able to clear either the existing fee or something happens. They're not able to sit for the exams. No, we normally encourage them the student to write an email to distance learning, copy the finance office requesting to defer the exams. Once the request has been approved, the student will only be allowed to sit for those exams and not book do the coursework afresh and pay afresh. So they'll be able to be guided by the department on how to apply on how to sit for those exams when those units will be on offer the next semesters. So for deferral of exams to be approved, the student must have paid the 40%. The student must have done cuts and assignment. And then my colleague Edwin has talked about some of the activities on distance learning portal. At least it must be above 75% and not below 75%. And then request for approval must be done through your department, that is distance learning. And then the exam deferral is only valid for 1 year. Let's assume I've deferred the exams this particular semester, that is January, May, August. So I'll be given a chance either to sit for those deferred exams September, December. When I fail to sit for those exams, I'll be given another chance to do those exams January, April. When I fail to sit for those exams January, April, I'll be given the last chance, that is May, August 2022 to sit for those exams. Failure to sit for those exams May, August 2022, I'll be forced to clear any outstanding balance, and then the coursework will become invalid. Then the student will be forced to book those units afresh, pay afresh, do all the coursework, that is cards and assignment. Lastly, always use the official email address, that is the student email address that has been provided by the university, to communicate to any officers of the university. Then dropping of a unit. The university policy does not allow, after adding drop period, that is registration, a student cannot be able to drop a unit that is on offer unless that class was cancelled, or the units that the student had booked earlier, they are clashing in terms of time. Also, the student cannot drop or select to drop some of the units and do some, unless they are deferring the semester. However, deferral of the semester is allowed, but a surcharge is normally prorated on the time the communication is made. And for the deferral of semesters, the charges is prorated as when a student now writes to distance learning and copy the accounts office. Let's assume the deferral was made the first month. We normally, after the registration, we normally charge 25% the cost of registered units or the register unit. The second month we charge 50%. The third month we charge 75%. The fourth month we charge 40%. And remember, that is penalty. So let's assume, for example, I had booked 6 units, and then I've not done 2 units, that is cards and assignment, and I wish to drop. And it is 2 hours, 2 weeks to the exams. So I'll be forced to pay for those units, regardless of whether I had done the cards and assignment. And then come the next semester, I'll be forced to book afresh those units if they're on offer, then pay afresh. So always check on the timelines of your communication and the dates set by the university, so as to avoid this cost. We also accept third-party checks, that is CDF or county checks, and this must be presented to the accounts office together with a letter showing that you are the beneficiary. Also, we do not accept a promissory note or letters from sponsors. For those who have applied for help and they have been given the award letter or a remittance advice note showing that the money will be transmitted to the university, we normally request the student to be able to forward those letters to the accounts office so that we can be able to clear them if it is towards the exam period to sit for the examination, or if it is at the beginning of the semester, so that we can be able to register them financially so that they can be able to access their modules and continue their learning while we await the money to be disbursed to the university account. Then fee refund policy is done under two conditions. One, it is done whereby a student is withdrawing from the university, and secondly, upon completion of the program and one has graduated. Then this must be done in writing you write an email or an official hard copy letter requesting for that, and then the letter must be submitted to the accounts office. Then any refund is subjected to a levy of 5%, that is administration levy, of the amount that is requested for refund. Bursary from CDF or county is not refunded back to the student, but refunded back to the said offices so that it can be able to assist other needy students. For those who would have received help money, what normally happens, we normally guide the student to write an email to the accounts office requesting that money to be reimbursed back to help so that it can offset your financial obligation. Communication to finance office must be done using the official email. In order to communicate to us, you can use either the below email, that is accounts-Nairobi campus @spu.ac.ke. Alternative email that is mostly used by distance learning student that is accounts-odl@spu.ac.ke. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you and welcome to St. Paul's University.
Okay, thank you very much, John, for that presentation. You know, money matters are sensitive, but I think you've explained in a way in which our new students are able to understand. And then the beauty of it all is that John has also given contact address so that in case of anything, you're able to reach out, get an explanation, or get more information. So thank you for that presentation. Okay, looking at the time and also looking at our chat section, there are links which have been put up. I also trust that you've probably received them directly to your phones. If you haven't, it's okay because they are there on the chat box because we need to break off for our program briefing. Program briefing means that you go to the particular link based on the course you've enrolled for. That is why you see different links: the social sciences, communication, theology, which is the other one, business. So use the link which is appropriate to the course you've applied for or you've enrolled for, sorry. And then once we finish, we will be able to come back. When we finish, we will take a break and then come back at 1:30. Then we will be able to continue with the rest of the program because we still have library to go and we still have registry to go. We changed around ICT and registry. So when we come back, we'll have registry and then library. So kindly use the links to go to your program briefing where you meet your heads of department and lecturers within your course. And you'll have ample time now to be able to share specifically on the course. So kindly we break off, we go to those particular rooms, and then we will come back at 1:30. Please do not miss the library and registry session. Are we together? Any questions on that? Okay, I can see some responses are going on in the chat, but kindly we break off. We're going to meeting our heads of departments to deal with more academic issues around the courses, and then we take a small break and come back at exactly 1:30 on the original link. Stephen, do you have a question? I can see the hand is raised. Stephen? Okay. Let's go to our various courses because our heads of departments are waiting. And it's another very important session. Then we come back at 1:30 exactly to the original link. Students, let's go to the head of department briefing. They are waiting for you. Silas, Clavins. Silas, Clavins, please, let's go. The heads of departments are waiting. Let's use the links shared. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. The heads of departments are waiting. Let's keep going so that we're in time for the afternoon session. Let's log out so that we go to the other links, please. We don't want you to miss the input from the heads of departments. So kindly let us go so that we benefit from that session as well. Let's go so that we go to the other sessions and come back in good time. Okay, I think all the students are gone to the other session. I can see we are only staff left. And let me take this opportunity to just thank all of you for having been part of the session this morning. Thank you for your input. I'm sure the students have benefited from your sharing. Madam Director, you'd like to say something? Okay. Perhaps we can now also just check on what is going on the other side, just to be sure that the program briefing is also going on. Thank you all. See you at 1:30, or we'll see you in the various program briefing sessions.
Merab, good afternoon. Emma, good morning. Merab? Edwin? Edwin?
Hi, Monica.
Oh, hi. Good afternoon.
Hi, Monica.
Hi, unanisikia? Merab? Merab?
Okay, hi, Monica. I'm back. Sorry, I had gone to the business meeting. Yes.
Oh, hi. Unanisikia?
Yes, nakusikia.
Ah, that is good. Nasema tunatumia the same link for the afternoon.
Yes, this same one.
Okay, sawa basi.
All
right, I wanted to seek clarification on that.
Okay, karibu sana.
Asante, thank you.
Asante, Monica.
God bless.
You too.
Merab.
Yes?
I'm trying to check the email that we had circulated to HODs. Did you contact Dr. Muga?
Yeah, sorry.
He's the one
I
who
didn't
nominated.
I sent him an email,
Mm.
but I don't have his number.
Oh,
so I have not.
I don't know. Edwin is here. Edwin, could you be having Dr. Muga's number?
But I sent him the email.
No, I'm trying to get Dr. Kithinji and he's not answering.
Or Dr. Muga. I also don't have his number.
I don't have his number.
Okay, maybe we check. Maybe we check whether he's maybe he's already in the session. I don't know.
Steve has just told me that there's no one there.
There's no one there?
Mm.
But the students are there?
Yes.
Oops. Okay, how do we get Dr. Muga's number?
Whitney is not able to join the business department. She's waiting. Okay. Waiting to be admitted. Who has the rights? Must be
of business
admission. Let me talk to him.
Irene.
Oh, it's Irene. I also don't have her number. Edwin, ask her if you have her number.
Edwin, are you calling Irene? Bahati, might you be having Dr. Muga's number?